So you had a total hip replacement, but now you have a few questions. How long do you have to follow precautions for? Can I bend my hip past 90 degrees? Am I able to get back to hiking, walking, even running? Let's get into it. Prehab, welcome back to the channel. Dr. Lauren Linus, and I'm happy to be with you all today talking about all things hip replacement. Now, maybe you've already had your total hip replacement and found yourself here, or maybe you're scheduled for one and want a bit more answers, but either way, you've come to the right place. So let's not waste any more time and let's talk about hip replacements. It's estimated that over 450,000 total hip replacements are performed in the US each year. And these replacements have proved to be a reliable intervention when quality of life is affected and conservative methods to manage hip pain have expired. Nowadays, joint replacements have been shown to last 20 years, so you are truly in a long-term relationship with that new hip of yours. But just like any new relationship, there may be some boundaries that have to be set. That's right, I'm talking precautions following your surgery. There are currently 3 major approaches that are taken when you have a THA or a total hip arthroplasty performed. These include the anterior approach, the posterior approach, and the lateral approach. And with each approach, you may have been given a certain list of precautions that you are to be mindful of in those early preoperative phase. Are these precautions important? Yes. Do they need to be feared? No. Dislocation percentage following a THA was only found to be 2.1% in one study and had nothing to do with the type of approach that was performed. So, while these precautions shouldn't be feared, we do want to be mindful of them the first 3 to 6 weeks following surgery to allow our tissue to heal. Your surgeon will be sure to tell you when you've been cleared of these precautions, but for the first few weeks, it's important to listen to your body and work within your tolerance of what you are able to do and have been cleared to do. If you are unsure of your precautions, we encourage you to have a conversation with your care team so you have a clear understanding of what you can and can't do. Okay, now you've been cleared by your surgeon and your precautions have been lifted. What type of exercises can you perform? Let's get into it. In early rehab of a total hip replacement, regardless of what approach you had, we want to begin to introduce range of motion as tolerated, muscle activation per precautions, and safe performance of everyday tasks such as getting in and out of bed and navigating the bathroom. You may have been instructed by a physical therapist following surgery while in the hospital to perform exercises such as this, or this, and even this. These exercises are all very important and help to begin to introduce healthy movement back into our hip, which will help with pain and inflammation. They'll begin to initiate muscle contraction, which will also help with pain and inflammation. And they'll help you learn how to retrain standing and walking with that new hip of yours. In this middle phase of rehab, we get to dive into range of motion further, begin to practice active range of motion by allowing our muscles to control a movement through a bigger range, and you get to begin to do some more functional tasks. Some exercises in this phase will likely include a front step up with hand support or not, depending on your strength. This will work on your quad strength as well as your hip extension strength. And as you push up into that standing position, you will also get the added benefit of working on a bit of balance. A sit to stand may have been integrated into your rehab as well. Performing this type of squat motion is both functional and also a great way to further develop strength in your quads and the muscles of your posterior chain, such as those hamstrings and the glutes. And this is also a really good way to work on balance as well. Maybe you can even start to add in a little bit of weight. At about 6 weeks post-op, you've likely been cleared by your surgeon and your care team in regards to getting out of those precautions, and you're able to do a little bit more. This is where our prehab hip replacement rehab program comes into play. The focus in this phase is building up strength, continuing to dive into range of motion since precautions have been lifted, and introduce more sports and activities that are specific to skills you enjoy doing. In this phase, we can challenge both our postural and core stability a little bit more with an exercise such as this, where we get to work on stability through both our upper extremity and our core, while introducing healthy hip extension range of motion, as well as muscle recruitment. You've also been cleared to start working further on those rotational muscles of the hip that play a large role in stability of our hip, and we can target some of those muscles with an exercise such as this. We also get to start working into greater ranges of hip flexion, which means that we get to strengthen that mobility with an exercise such as this. And don't forget the core. If you aren't challenging that postural stability, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. Our program offers lots of core exercises such as this one here. Okay, so in regards to getting back to running, can you? The answer is, it depends. Several studies show that if you have previous experience with these higher level impact activities, and if returning to this activity is a specific goal of yours, then yes, there is the ability to return to these types of activities. However, there is a recommendation that to maintain longevity and success of the arthroplasty, lower impact activities may be encouraged by your surgeon and your care team. We encourage you to have an open and honest conversation with your surgeon and team prior to surgery and throughout the rehab process about what your specific goals consist of so they can help you to meet them. Okay, so let's hit you all with the answers to your questions. Precautions. Yes, we should be mindful of them throughout the first few weeks of our rehab, but we should not fear them. Progressive rehab is extremely important with rehab from a total hip replacement, and returning to higher level impact activities such as running is not out of question, but it's important to have a conversation with your surgeon and care team early and often about what your goals are so that realistic expectations can be set. If looking to get after your rehab following a total hip replacement, check out our program through the Prehab app. You won't regret it. Until next time, Prehab, happy prehabbing.
Hey, did you like this video? If you did, you should definitely check out the Prehab app. It includes all of our programs, a brand new workout library, and tons more videos like the one you saw today. Check it out by clicking on this link. You get a free trial. Take control of your health today.